What's up, everybody? Josh Armijo here. I hope everybody's doing good and well and stuff. I got an album review to do for you, and I'm going to show it to you right now. This is the debut album from the band Undeath, entitled Lesions of a Different Kind. This is released on Prosthetic Records. Now, if you're not too familiar with this band, they are based out of Rochester, New York, and the best way to describe the sound of this band would be a very traditional, morbid, violent style of death metal. Yeah. Last year was a very, very prominent and important year for a band like this because this band had put out some very, very awesome demos in the form of their demo 2019 release and then the follow-up later that year with Sentient Autolysis. Just a really good glimpse of what this band had to offer in terms of their musical stylings, in terms of their artwork, in terms of their overall musical deliveries. There was just a lion's share of potential to be had. And of course, as the year went on, the hype and anticipation built for what would soon be the very first full-length album from Undeath. And when we found out that we were getting an Undeath debut full-length in 2020, I was very excited to see and hear what directions they were going to potentially be taking in lieu of those really, really awesome demos. And now here we are with that said full-length album entitled Lesions of a Different Kind. It's 10 tracks, and it clocks in at around 35 minutes in length, and pretty much if you were a fan of this band's first couple of demos, I think you're going to be right at home with how this album is, how everything is executed, and just, it feels very much different from the pack when it comes to today's current death metal contemporaries. But Undeath have a sound that is just so awesome, and they make it work so well, and I see some seriously big things coming for this band for many more years to come. I really am impressed with this debut album, and yeah. Speaking of what makes Undeath different from the pack, I really love how this band gels together so well as far as the musical compositions are concerned. There are lots of catchy and memorable riffs to be heard throughout this entire album, from the opening moments of Suitably Hacked to Gore, to later tracks like Entranced by the Pendulum, Kicked in the Protruding Guts, and even the song that they did on the demo, Archfiend Coercion Methods, they brought that song on here for this particular version, and I think the musical compositions on that song are just absolutely top-notch. Some seriously killer riffs to be heard throughout this album as far as Undeath is concerned. I believe Cody from Sanguish Sogabog does some guitar soloing on the opening track, Suitably Hacked to Gore. He does some really awesome things with that song, but as far as the actual rest of the guitars on this album are concerned, it's really awesome. The bass work is very good, very gravelly, very audible, very clear, definitely holds its own weight amongst the guitar riffs that you hear throughout this entire record, and I think it's a very awesome bass guitar performance. The drum work on here is very good too. This album has a very strong pace going ahead for it. Every single song moves very, very quick paced, but it's paced very well, paced very right. I love the double bass, the cymbal accents, the snare sounds really good. There's just a real genuine natural vibe going for this drum performance, and I really appreciate the pace being brought forward with this drum sound. And when it comes to the vocals, it's the typical Undeath vocal stylings done in a very low, guttural sort of tone. You can definitely understand everything that this guy is saying. He has a very unique vernacular and delivery, and he does a very good job getting his point across, especially when it comes to some of these later songs and these crazy over-the-top violent lyrics. I mean, Kicked in the Protruding Guts is probably one of the best song titles of 2020. I mean, just a very kick-ass song. And of course, on the track Phantasmal Festering, you get some really, really great lyrics on that track too. And if I'm not mistaken, on the title track, Lesions of a Different Kind, you hear the voice of Trevor Strnad of the Black Dahlia Murder, lending his sort of high-pitched sort of wails in that particular song, which of course are very instantly recognizable right away. but it doesn't take away from anything that the main vocalist of this band is doing, and I think he does a tremendous, tremendous job with making a big, huge impact in delivering his vocals. Very commanding voice, very understandable, and very well articulated. So overall, this is a very impressive debut full-length album. If you are into this band's 2 previous demos, I think you're going to find something special here with Lesions of a Different Kind. I see tremendous potential in this band, and I'm very much looking forward to them having a very awesome future ahead of them. So, if I had to think of any personal favorite tracks, I would definitely have to say Suitably Hacked to Gore, Shackles of Sanity, Acidic Twilight Visions, Kicked in the Protruding Guts, and the closing track with Archbeam Coercion Methods. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you some links in the description box as how you can get a hold of this album and listen to it. I will leave you a link to the Undeath Bandcamp page where you can listen to this album in its entirety, hear it for yourself, and be your own judge as to whether you think it's worthy of being purchased or not. You can stream it by digitally and is available physically in a wide multitude of physical formats. Maggot Stomp put out the tape version, but I believe that is since sold out. There's also CD versions, and what I have in my hands is the vinyl version. This is the big artwork done by their drummer. What I love about this band is that their drummer does all of their artwork, and this one is no different. It's really, really killer. Back cover here, band member photos. Comes with a lyric sheet with some additional artwork, lyrics. And this album has been selling very, very well. I know this is on its like 2nd or 3rd press by the time I'm filming this. It's still readily available to purchase, but the copy that I got is the first press on transparent purple, almost violet looking vinyl. Sounds really good, plays really good. Very happy to have this thing. But yeah, again, the album is Lesions of a Different Kind by Undeath. This is released on Prosthetic Records. Definitely check this one out. And for a score, I'm going to give this a very solid 8.5 out of 10. Very, very memorable death metal, and I'm very much looking forward to Undeath having a great future in the many years to come. So, if you've happened to have heard this album, definitely let me know what you think about it and how you feel about it. Or any of you guys into Undeath, definitely let me know. I'm going to conclude this review. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for checking out my channel. Until next time, Army Hell out.